All right, I've got to talk about Paige Bueckers, and I haven't done it enough this season. I do need to get back into covering WNBA topics a little bit more tightly, and I know it's near the end of the year and we're getting into the playoffs, but what she has done this season has been too tough not to talk about, regardless of what point we are right now in the season. On top of her just being this stellar scorer and having these ridiculous highlights, there are some records and some things that she has accomplished in just her rookie year that are extremely eye-popping. For one, just last night with her 27-point game against Golden State, she broke Dallas's single season scoring record, doing that again as a rookie. And this was a record that was set back in 2019 by Arike Ogunbowale. On top of that, she has more 25-point games than any WNBA rookie combined this season. And also, she is leading all WNBA guards in efficiency, knocking down 47% of her shots, all while being top 5 in the WNBA in scoring. So putting that into perspective, as a rookie, it is already tough for you to figure out consistency in your scoring attack. Let's take that truth and combine it with the fact that it's tough to do that at an efficient rate. And she is able to do both of those things at a ridiculously high level. So there are two things in particular that make her season very impressive to me. For one, she is fresh off of a national championship victory. So you can only imagine the amount of fatigue she probably had coming into her first WNBA game. She came off of a really deep NCAA tournament run, which is something that she has been familiar with over the last couple of seasons for her at UConn. She's going from that to pretty much a month and a half of time in between right into her first WNBA game. And to see her do what she is doing with that rapid turnaround time, it is extremely impressive and almost unheard of. And when you think about it, right, the WNBA has a smaller window as well for rookies to figure things out from a rhythm perspective. That's just 44 games. If we're comparing that to the NBA, they have 82 games. So an NBA rookie has longer prep time, a little bit more of somewhat of an onboarding process once they're going into their first game of their NBA career than WNBA players. And they also have a larger amount of games, which means they have more opportunities in a larger window to find a rhythm and flow for themselves. That is not the truth for WNBA rookies. So again, when you take that into context, it makes what Paige is doing right now that much more impressive. Again, coming off of this deep NCAA tournament run right into your rookie year, you're probably fatigued and you're fitting perfectly into the league and dominating very early from an individual standpoint. She has been amazing. And again, that truth, that fact of that rapid turnaround time has made what she is doing that much more impressive. And also, you have to love the way in which she does it. So I talked about it earlier. She is very, very efficient, knocking down 47% of her shots. But again, when you break down how she is getting to her spots, it's really, really cool to see. She is this amazing shot creator, great off the bounce, already one of the best in the league at the guard position at operating off the bounce. And she has an amazing array of finishes around the basket and a pretty solid in between game. And that is one of the more difficult spots to figure out as a basketball player, specifically as a guard. And I know she's a bit of a bigger guard, but still figuring out the mid-range game and polishing that is a bit of a daunting task for a young player. And I'm not saying she is super, super polished right now in the mid-range area, but she is competent enough and knows her way around it. So seeing her do that and possess this maturity as a scorer on the pro level at this young of an age, at this early stage in her career, is really, really neat to see. And here's this too, and this is something that you notice with a lot of really, really good players. Sometimes when somebody is so amazing with what they can do with the ball in their hands and how flashy they are and the highlights they create, you forget how good they are from a fundamental perspective. If you look at Stephen Curry, you look at the shooting, you look at the range, you look at the finishes and the passes, you really forget how great he is from a fundamental standpoint. Same goes for Kyrie Irving. You look at the crossovers and the finishes and the English he puts off the glass. glass, you forget how amazing he is with mastering the fundamental aspect of the game. It is a similar dynamic here with Paige Bueckers. Along with her being this amazing player with the ball in her hands, she also knows how to operate at a high level without the ball. A good amount of her scoring attempts are her coming off of screens or off ball actions to get to her spots, which is again something you always have to keep an eye on for a player of her caliber. You get caught up in the crossovers and what she can do with the ball in her hands, but you also know she can work well within the flow of an offense and operate at a high level working off the ball. So that's another thing about Paige Bueckers that you really, really have to love about her this early in her career. And you'd have to think that a lot of that comes from the fact that she played in that UConn system that is proven to produce amazing WNBA players and winning at a high level on the collegiate level as well. So I've been a massive fan. She has been entertaining to watch, and I don't want to compare her directly to Caitlin Clark, but you really love what you've gotten from like these number one overall draft picks in the WNBA over the last couple of years, especially these last 2 years with Clark and Bueckers. These are two players who are amazing, who do have generational level talent, and I just love seeing them get on the court and do the things they've done at this high of a level. And for Bueckers, this is just the beginning of what could be one of the greatest WNBA careers ever, especially from a guard.